Lesson The Best Christmas Present in the World continued. Comprehension 3. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. Now, the letter, in the previous video, I had read the letter which Jim had written to Connie. In the previous video, we had read about it. And now, after reading the writer, he folded the letter again and slipped it carefully, the one who is telling us the story. So he says, I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. So he kept it back. I kept awake all night. So he was awake all night. Now by morning, I knew what I had to do. So he says, I knew what I have to do. I drove into Bridport. So he went to Bridport, just a few miles away. So it was not very far. So he went. I asked a boy walking his dog where Copper Beaches was, the address that was given on the envelope. So he asked for it. Where Copper Beaches was, house number 12, turned out to be nothing but a burned out shell. So burned out shell means it was destroyed by fire. The roof gaping, the windows boarded up. So the roof was open and the windows boarded up. Boarded up means covered with wooden boards. So it was all closed. During the wartime, it used to happen like that. We had to cover everything so the light should not be seen. So this way, I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of a Mrs. Macpherson. So I asked anyone if anybody knew Mrs. Macpherson. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. He knew her well. A lovely old lady, he told me, a bit muddle-headed. Muddle-headed means confused. But at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? She was quite an old lady now by this time. So that man says she was a bit muddle-headed, but at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? 101 years old. So she was 101 years old. She had been in the house when it caught fire. No one really knew how the fire had started. So nobody knew how the fire started, but it could well have been candles. Maybe because of candles, it might be a possibility. She used candles rather than electricity. She preferred candles instead of electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. So fireman was able to save her just in time. She was in a nursing home now, he told me, Burlington House, on the Dorchester Road on the other side of town. So this is your comprehension 3 of first chapter. There are 2 questions in this. You can just go through them. You can just think what could be the answer for these two these 2 questions. First question is, why did the author go to Bridport? And second one is, how old was Mrs. Macpherson now and where was she? So just think about these 2 questions. Thank you.